Hello and welcome to Camp Xtras. Today I thought I would just talk about the Game Boy Advance, an awesome handheld from Nintendo that was insanely popular. Growing up, I remember being obsessed with my Advance and after that the SP, and those memories have stuck around for a while. So I thought, why not talk about some games I plain love on the console? I got 5 for you today, and all footage was captured off of a Retron 5, and let's go ahead and hop into this one. First on today's list is actually the first ever GBA game I ever got. I remember getting the Advance model for Christmas, and I was absolutely obsessed with the sucker. I had a few games at the time, but the one I could not get enough of was Mario Kart Super Circuit. It's a game that, since then, I play consistently, and I find it to be my go-to GBA game, which might be a bit of a nostalgia thing, as I feel the reaction to this one is fairly negative these days. I've seen plenty of hate for this game, and sure, it is a lot like the Super Nintendo title, but is that really a bad thing? To me, this set an archetype of what a great arcade racer on the GBA could be and made for something incredibly replayable. This is a classic kart racer featuring a wide mix of racers from the Mario universe, each with their own weight and speed limits. Your goal is to go through every track, get first, and collect coins in order to get high enough ranks, which can also unlock more tracks for you. One of the coolest things here is that you could unlock all the previous Super Nintendo tracks, which was mind-blowing at the time. To me, it felt like it was double the game, and since I feel this one is more tailored to a single-player experience, that extra content is key. One of Super Circuit's strongest attributes is its track designs. This entry keeps a lot of the tracks short and sweet, and hardly ever do they overstay their welcome. You can easily get in and out and through races, and it's an absolute blast, and in turn, it makes for an awesome and quick handheld game experience. I love the variety of courses here, with some weird ideas like Cheese Land, or one of my continued favorites, Sky Garden, all with some of my favorite tunes for the console. The music here is light and upbeat, and it makes the game a joy. It's a cute looking game overall, and it's a good feeling racer too with nice controls. Though not taking the series and throwing it on its head, it still manages to be a good time, and that's all it needs to do. Go through a few quick races and move on. With the awesome track design, I always find myself plugging away at the time trials, and this is one that I always find myself replaying. Next one up is one I played a little later on in life, and that's Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap. This is a Zelda game developed by Capcom, and it's so weird to me how late this one came out, all the way out into early 2005, making sure that many people probably played this on their DS Game Boy expansion slots. I do love the Zelda series though. I've not gone through every entry, and I'd like to one day, but Minish Cap overall is the best one that I've ever played, and that's why this is one that I always seem to pick back up if I'm ever in the mood for a Zelda game. First off, there is something about 2D Zeldas that works out for me more than any other Zelda games. The top-down exploration and how sections of the map build off of each other, where you unlock more objects along the way, the simple combat, it all works together to make quite a satisfying RPG, and this one on Game Boy is extremely fluid. The combat and controls work extremely well together to make the motion of everything fluid and beautiful. Rolling around, swinging your sword, blocking, and using all of your items works together so well, and it makes something satisfying. Truly one of the best feeling Game Boy games ever. I also find this game to be one of the most beautiful on the console. The bright colors shine through, and the world's rich greens are striking. The motion captured in all of the sprite work makes this one pop at every moment. The world here is perfect, and that is matched by the beautiful score in the background, remixing old Zelda favorites, but also having some of my favorite songs in the whole series. I feel like this game is pushing the console to its limits, but not in terms of innovation like using 3D, but taking every lesson learned on how to make sprites look beautiful on the console, and then making it a swan song for first-party titles on the handheld. It's full of content and not a game you can blaze through. It takes its time and has quite a good plot. I love the Minish people, and Laszlo makes for a very memorable sidekick for the series. The switching from tiny to large is perfect for me, as I love games where you're tiny in large worlds, and here it works not only in style, but for inventive puzzles. So much is going on in this game, and it makes for one of my all-time favorites. If you've never checked out this Zelda game, you should definitely get on that. Next up is Yu-Gi-Oh! Eternal Duelist Soul. This one came to us from Konami and was released in North America in 2002. Now, out of all the games today, this is the Game Boy game I return to the most alongside Mario Kart. Actually, I'd say this one is up there as one of the games that I've just returned to the most in general. I love trading card games and deck building, and the simplicity and great design on display here has always kept it in rotation for me, and it makes it one of those infinitely enjoyable experiences. It's crazy to think that I actually got this game in a trade with a kid for a copy of episodes of SpongeBob on the Game Boy. I remember always loving Yu-Gi-Oh, but I never knew how to play it, even when I first started playing this game. As a kid, you kind of just made up rules on the playground. Well, this game forced me to buck up and learn the rules because there's no tutorial here. But after a few times, it was easy to get the hang of it, and it's a great system for a trading card game. That's all it needs to be, because this game offers absolutely no fluff. You get a bunch of duelists, you beat them a bunch of times to unlock the next tier of duelists, and you move on. Everyone has their own specific decks, and you learn the best ways to counter them, so you need to cater your deck to specific playstyles, asking you to actually work towards getting packs, and then you get rewarded at the end of every duel. There's something too that I love about the calendar system, where you go through and you go to special tournaments every month, and there's a monthly magazine that gives you rare cards inside. It's little treats to keep you plodding through every day, facing off against different duelists. It's nice because it's a simple game in terms of look, simple pixel graphics, and most of the game you just look at a board and a bunch of cards. All of the cards come through cleanly, and it feels like playing a plain card game. No funky animations or the cards coming to life. It feels like a real game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's fine for me as someone who doesn't play the card game in real life. So this one is a bit niche, but it's certainly a good starting point if you want to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! It gets the basics down and offers absolutely nothing else, making it perfect to just pick up and play and get a quick duel in every once in a while. Handheld games are my favorite for pickup playability, and this one has been a go-to for a very long time. Next is Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories. This is one that I might lose some of you on, as I know this game's reputation is not very good. Yet it's important to me, and it's one that I love to give a playthrough every once in a while. As a kid, I didn't have a PS2, not until way later in my life, but one of the series that I always wanted was Kingdom Hearts. Yet I remember one day going to a local store, and all of a sudden there was a copy of Chain of Memories hanging out, and I had to have it. And this became my first ever Kingdom Hearts game. Chain of Memories, though, breaks what the first game and subsequent sequel did, and would go for a card-based deck building game, which from 3 of my choices today, you will see that I love games of this design. In this game, you move from different Disney and Final Fantasy worlds, and you fight the Heartless that infest each of the areas. You get strong cards and summons, which you use in combat. Not only this, but you get numbered cards that allow you to open doors and explore the different Disney worlds. Everything in this game is card-based, and there's something that I love about that. It makes the combat feel extremely unique and unlike anything I've ever played before. The combat for a GBA game always felt great to me, giving you wide open spaces, and you manage your deck and try to get the best use out of it, managing when you use certain cards and create combos. It flows extremely well and is a unique way to take Kingdom Hearts and make it different for a handheld. It all looks beautiful too, with great art and motion. The pixelated version of these Disney areas is gorgeous and brings to life the animation of the cartoons. The music is also gorgeous here too, with some of my favorite songs for the console. This is one RPG on the console that I feel gets maligned, and I imagine it's from the insane story here and the drastic gameplay changes. Yet I think the wild plot and new gameplay is what helps it stand out for me. It's something fresh, and not much is out there like it, and not only that, it happens to be a plain good time. The final game today is MegaMan Battle Network, another card builder, but this one is more beloved. Now, to be honest with you, I haven't gotten the chance to check out the rest of the series like I want to, but I've gone back to play this one multiple times, and it's a game I absolutely love. Battle Network takes the core of Mega Man and builds something completely new out of it and makes for a timeless experience. So in this game, there is the real world and the internet. You control Mega Man in the internet world and traverse many dungeons and paths along the way, taking on random encounters. The encounters have you using battle chips that will affect the spaces on the battle board. You move around the battle board almost in a rhythm against enemies, affecting places on the board that they can go to. It feels like a mix between a turn-based RPG, chess, and a trading card game. A very unique combination that I feel still makes it stand out today, and luckily all of the titles have been repackaged for a modern release. The combat to me is quite addictive, and even if the encounter rate is really high, getting into those battles over and over again, I love the rhythm and patterns that spring up. It all works well with the nostalgic view of the internet it has, where everyone has silly internet handles and it's full of techno jargon. The actual look of the internet cyberspace has an amazing style to it, and it harkens back to the days when the internet was actually a cool place full of hope and interest. Mix that with another one of my favorite game soundtracks ever made. The synths in this score are beautiful, and it has such a dreamy feel to it that fits this futuristic feeling. I feel this one would be perfect for anyone who has a love for RPGs and or card games. This feels like a great crossover. The GBA didn't have a very long life, but it's games like this that really made it an interesting platform that stood out. Weird ideas that changed things, and when a game was really good like this, it really stood out as something special. Just writing about this one makes me want to go back into it, so you might see more of this game soon, and if you've never played it, definitely give it a try soon. That does wrap it up for this video, but tell me, what are some games on the GBA that you can't get enough of? I'd love to hear from you. Leave a like as it really helps me out in the algorithm. Subscribe to keep up with more videos like this, and check out my main channel, Camp Xbox, for mainly retro Xbox content. And I'll see you here next time at Camp Xtras.